In this video, let's practice another essay. To what extent do you agree or disagree? In this type, a topic is stated and it asks whether you agree with it or not. Also, to what extent? Here, because to what extent is mentioned, the ideal way to present your thoughts would be to write more content on the side you favor. For this type, I have taken the following topic. Spoken communication is always more powerful than written communication. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Before we start with the topic, let's quickly recall the structure of an essay. First comes the introduction, followed by the body part, where you agree in one paragraph and disagree in another. Here, unfailingly, you need to write about 60% content for the side you choose and 40% for the side you don't. Last is a concluding paragraph where you concisely summarize the essay and incline towards your favored side. Now is the time to enlist points for your agreement and disagreement with the topic. A very intuitive point that comes to my mind is that the retention of words from listening is higher than reading. Therefore, the potential impact of speech is any day more. Another reason to agree could be that when you speak, you bring variation in your tone, pitch, and voice modulation, which helps you express better and keep your listener engaged. Whereas for a reader to grasp the tone of a writer, one should be well versed with grammar, especially punctuation marks. The third reason could be that words spoken with feelings seem more real because to deliver the same intention in writing, one needs to be creative and descriptive. The last reason is that verbal context is optimal in emergencies. Here, the essence is that oral interaction is vital, primal, and irreplaceable for most areas in our lives. Now, let's not overlook the values of written communication and see how we can disagree with this topic. 1. Written communication allows us to revisit, refer, and validate an action or event that happened in the past. As we have a record of it, the second reason is they are mandatory for the official agreements. We know that formalism and written communication go hand in hand. Lastly, written communication is also important when an in depth explanation is required. Remember, you will not compare in the body paragraphs, we will write more for the side we support in. After enlisting points for both sides and deciding your preference, start writing the essay. Recall the structure of the essay and start with an introduction where first you paraphrase the topic, then you give an outline statement for it, and later you complete it by disclosing your opinion or thesis statement. Now, let's broaden the introduction. So, tell me, how would you paraphrase the topic? I would do it as it is often argued that speech as a mode of communication is more impactful as compared to written words. This is a fine example of paraphrasing because it is restated, exhaustive, and concise. What next? Yes, an outline statement. I have prepared one as communication is an inevitable aspect in every domain for the smooth functioning of all operations. And there are samples of ways to communicate with one another through verbal written gestures, visuals, and so on. Here, you should note that outline statement is unbiased, and that's how you should keep it. Here, the last part is an expression of your opinion. So, my take for this argument is as follows. However, I opine that spoken or written, whatever is your view, exchange of ideas admittedly is more effective. Let's proceed and write the body part. For the body paragraphs, as we have to give the list of points, we will use linking words such as firstly, secondly, thirdly, moreover, additionally, and so on to make our task look structured. The opening of the paragraph should be a general statement, giving an insight into what the paragraph contains. Also, the body paragraph should include an example if required. Here, the opening line of the first paragraph can be to commence with, there is a myriad of reasons to support my view, the major one of which is. To illustrate, the second paragraph can be opened as continuing further another pivotal reason why verbal interaction is much more beneficial is. The last paragraph gives a contrasting view of the general opening of the third paragraph, and it can be, on the contrary, written language also has its significance which cannot be replaced by any other medium. The first and foremost is, moreover, it is also helpful. For example, this is how you should manage. The first paragraph can be written as, to commence with, there are myriad of reasons to support my view, the major one of which is the impact of speaking skills. The use of voice modulation and intonations can influence the listener for good. Moreover, incorporating various hand gestures along with the speech keeps the attention of the audience intact and thereby aids in fulfilling the purpose of the speech. For example, teachers teach students by explaining in such a way that the students remember for a long period of time. In teaching language, when the words are pronounced with voice modulations, students can relate the emotion associated with the words, which might remain in their mind of students forever. For instance, when a person talks to his friend, the person can judge from the way the friend responds that whether his friend is happy or indifferent. Thus, spoken communication has a benefit. The contrary paragraph can be, on the contrary, written language also has its significance, which cannot be replaced by any other medium. To be specific, written records are vital as they can be reused at a later point of time for future reference, as in the case of police records, which is not viable in case of verbal communication. Furthermore, while forming any legal contract related to firms or partnership deed, it is mandatory to have a written contract including all the terms and conditions. Lastly, you can begin your conclusion paragraph by writing to sum up as a final verdict. So we can write, in conclusion, you need to give some of the points that we discussed above. If you agree with the topic, then you can give the point related to emergency situation and senior citizens where they can immediately communicate in the conclusion along with a point to disagree, for which you can state the point of official agreements in case you disagree. Present more data related to disagreeing points and less about agreed points. As a final verdict, Oral communication proves to be more significant in the majority of the cases, from giving a speech to announcement during emergency situation. Yet, on specific occasion like signing a contract, it is required to have a detailed written agreement. I am sure you must have focused on all the four criteria, like first, task achievement, where we continuously read and reread the question to keep ourselves on the track and do not divert even a little from our topic. Second is coherence and cohesion, where by using cohesive devices like moreover or and however and so on, we have tried to sequence our information and ideas logically so that the examiner gets the clear picture of our essay. Here, we have also tried to use lexical resource, that is a wide range of vocabulary in a natural way, which is our third criterion. Finally, we have attempted to use a wide range of structures with full flexibility and accuracy to satisfy the fourth criteria of grammatical range and accuracy. Thank you.